Disney continues to double down on soulless live-action remakes, and the audience doubles down on expressing their hatred of them. Stick around to hear more. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. After numerous reshoots with the release date being pushed back time and time again, Disney is finally ready to release its live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, this project stars Rachel Zegler, the most tone-deaf actress in Hollywood, surpassing even the likes of Brie Larson with her elitist attitude and overbearing social commentary. Zegler made it clear early on that she actually hates the original Snow White and spoke about it with biting contempt. It's a truly stellar way to appeal to a target audience consisting of mostly Snow White fans. Add on to that the controversy of Peter Dinklage, the biggest little douche in the universe, kicking the Hollywood ladder down behind him and demanding the Disney not cast actual dwarfs in this movie, and you got a recipe for a modern-day Disney box office disaster. Disney released the first teaser trailer for this monstrosity at the D23 Expo, and it dropped on YouTube shortly thereafter. The response from the fans was, well, check it out for yourselves on Tooney TV. So, oh, the wonderful world of Disney and how we love to tear it apart. Folks, I am joined here today by my good friend and the newest resident of Tooneytown, my good friend Trish, or as we're referring to her, just Trish. Trish, hello.
Hi, just Trish.
There we go. So now, Trish, growing up as a female, with two X chromosomes, did you did you happen to ever partake in Disney princess movies?
Yeah, when I was about 7 when The Little Mermaid came out, so like
Okay.
Ariel, Belle.
Oh, so you're old. Okay.
Yeah, I'm old. So those are my Disney princesses, you know what I mean? But
Right.
I had the puffy clamshell VHS of like all the Disney movies, so I definitely had Snow White in there.
Yeah. Okay. So we are going to take a look at the Snow White trailer. But now the big news about before we actually watch this trailer, I want to take a little look at something that's kind of odd with it. And that is what we call the ratio, the likes to dislikes. And I can tell you a lot. Now, people like to try to poo-poo this and say, oh, the like to dislike ratio, it doesn't mean anything because it's just a bunch of angry, bitter men who can't stand a strong, independent woman like Rachel Zegler or like Snow White. So look at this. This is absolutely insane. We have got 61,000 likes versus a whopping 349,000 dislikes. Trish, is
394. 390. It's even worse.
Oh, it's even worse than what I said. Oh, dyslexic Marvin once again. But yes, it's it is even worse than what I had said. I mean, where did they go wrong here? And do you think they can actually go right? Because it seems like people are just kind of done with the live action remakes, especially when the live action remakes are being done for social justice-y reasons. What say you to that?
I never saw one of the live action remakes because it's just not appealing to me. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not the only person like that.
Probably not. I've seen a few of them.
Were they good?
Jungle Book was good.
Okay.
I liked Jungle Book. I hated Cinderella. I hated Beauty and the Beast.
I was going to say I heard Cinderella was good.
I didn't like it.
Well, what I know about Beauty and the Beast is Hermione teaching girls how to read was just not going to be a thing. Then it just wasn't.
No, especially like she just wasn't Belle. She couldn't sing. It was a nightmare. They were just using what was left in that name recognition before it ran out. But here we have Snow White. Now, Rachel Zegler is an interesting one here because she made quite the name for herself out in Hollywood land because she can't keep her friggin' mouth shut. So let's take a look here at this article from our good friends over at NBC News, where Rachel Zegler, on social media, people were zeroing in on her response being asked about bringing a modern edge to the story of Snow White. And she said, I just mean that it's no longer 1937. We absolutely wrote a Snow White that she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love because God forbid, she's going to be dreaming about becoming, and this is my favorite quote, the leader she knows she can be, and that her father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. Then she talked about another soundbite called Extra TV. There's a big focus on Snow White's love story in the original film. Quote, with a guy who literally stalks her. And then she went, weird, weird. Now, I know you watched this. You saw this. What were your thoughts as to Rachel Zegler and her comments here?
It was clear she hadn't watched Snow White in a very long time.
Right.
I think she said she watched it when she was little and it scared her, which, okay.
Right.
But it was clear she hadn't seen it because she says the thing about a leader, and Snow White kind of was a leader of the dwarves in a very kind and fair way, but she was a leader. She did have that strength, and it was just quiet, and it was quietly strong. And
Well,
I feel like that's what she's not getting, or maybe Disney's not getting, is like, that's still strong. It doesn't have to be like so in your face for it to be considered strong.
Right. There are different kinds of strength, and different kinds of people display that strength differently. You have a character like Snow White who shows a lot of that kind of strength, and she had kind of a more maternal strength. Then you have someone like Mulan, who in her movie, she is not a super badass kung fu girl in the beginning of that movie. She's clumsy, she can't do anything right, but she works harder than all of the other soldiers in the army and becomes the hero of China. It's because of hard work. And then in the live action remake, she was a spinning, twirling kung fu master girl boss.
I was just gonna say
at the age of like 5, because she had great chi, which is code for a white person wrote this movie.
Shang-Chi.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Mulan was a little bit past my time, but I knew that her story in the animated version was that it was her determination and her desire to do it, and that she kept working at it, her perseverance. And to start her off being just amazing at everything, it just completely obliterates the whole point of the character and her whole context and just makes her generic.
And Snow White was never like vying to take over the kingdom and be the leader that she always knew she could be. Snow White wanted to fall in love, which is a thing that a lot of people do actually want, Trish. Some people actually have a desire for heterosexual love once in a while. To get married, to have kids.
Yeah, well, when she first said that, I was kind of like, and what's wrong with her finding love with the prince, though?
Right.
What?
Because he stalks her. Weird.
See, to me, if you wanted to be really strong girl boss, true feminist, she would do it all. She would have the prince that she loves and has a great relationship with, and she'd be the leader she knows she can be. I mean, you could do it. You don't have to choose. That's the point.
Right. You can have both those things. You can have a career and actually be in love at the same time. I just think that these are written by people who just have really sad, sorry lives, that they just want to share their sad, sorry lives with the rest of the world. So let's take a look at this trailer that so many people disliked. Now, this might flag us in the uploading process as copyrighted material. And if it does, then I will be sure to axe it out, and so there might be a clumsy cut here if we have to do that. But in the event that it doesn't, we can actually sit here and mock the heck out of this thing. And if that does happen, I will chop out the section and we'll watch it somewhere else.
Do what you have to do.
Okay, let's make this happen here. All right, let's make this a little smaller. I'm not going to make it full screen just to avoid.
Do whatever you can.
Yeah.
Oh, Disney invites me.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're invited. We're invited along with all these vermin that are apparently walking through the door.
I'm RSVPing no.
Yeah, I think 394,000 other people did too. By the way, while we're here, dislike. There we go. Because I already disliked this. She's letting all these vermin into the house.
It's so unsanitary.
Oh, these just vomits. Oh, here they come.
Oh, here not dwarves.
Yes,
or are they dwarves again?
No, they are CGI monstrosities because they were going to be actual dwarves, actual little people. And Peter Dinklage spoke out against this. He got mad. He said that it was offensive. Peter Dinklage, the most famous dwarf in the world, the guy who gets every major dwarf role in Hollywood.
Say.
Yeah, climbed that ladder, made it to the Hollywood elite, and then kicked that ladder down right behind him so that nobody else could achieve any kind of fame or take any roles from him. We saw Hornswoggle from the WWE, Dylan Postel. I interviewed him about this over on Tooney Town Wrestling, and he was livid about it.
Yeah, because I mean, you could look at it the way Peter Dinklage looked at it. Or you could look at it as they gave, or they would have given, 7 little people a job. Little
And
people, I don't even know what the terminology is supposed to be because
well,
it changes every 5 seconds.
Hornswoggle gave me a pass. I'm allowed to say midget, so I
You got
use
the
it
midget
sparingly.
pass.
Yeah, no, I got the midget pass, so I used that. But so Hornswoggle was actually on Piers Morgan talking about it and going
Oh,
off
okay, I didn't know that.
about how just like what a terrible thing this was, because he was in Muppets Most Wanted, so Disney already kind of had a relationship with him, which means he
So he could have
probably,
theoretically been in it.
I would say there's a very good chance that he would have been one of the 7 dwarves. He might have even been in conversation for it, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Outside of the
So,
paycheck, maybe it's for the best.
right. All right. So here they go.
So whistle while you work.
Oh God, I already can't stand her voice.
See, I was more focused on the
On the what?
movements that she was doing. The like,
Look at these dwarfs. Oh my goodness! Look at these dwarfs. They look terrible. We can't really say. Okay, let's just keep going. Oh man. In 2025,
which wasn't that supposed to come out this year?
You will believe
They
a
pushed that
movie
back.
can fail. Yeah, no, I believe it was. They pushed this back a lot because they had to reshoot everything. Well, because first they were supposed to be dwarves, then they were just going to be like regular, like diverse people in one of the shots.
I
And now
remember
they made
seeing a
these
shot of
CGI
that.
monstrosities. Yeah.
And I was just like, okay.
And there she is. Oh, she's gorgeous. Look how gorgeous she is.
The not as fair Gal
I know.
Gadot.
Let's see if they.
Magic mirror on the wall.
But then she opens her mouth and that accent comes out,
Magic
and I'm like, that's
mirror.
magic mirror on the wall. Imagine all the people. Remember that?
I really like Gal Gadot, and I had to mentally hand wave that one, like, girl. Like,
It was
no,
the most tone deaf
no.
thing ever. Everybody was stuck in their house. They had no toilet paper. People were losing their jobs left and right. And her and a bunch of millionaires were like, imagine all the people. Oh,
But here's the
worst.
celebrities to sing
Yeah,
John
no.
Lennon's music, you know.
Don't worry, they're all here to save you. They're all here to tell you how to live your life.
Oh,
All right,
everything's better
continuing on.
now.
By the way, this magic mirror, if I could go back for 1 second.
On the wall.
Apparently I didn't go back far enough. She looks perfect, by the way.
Mirror on
I mean, like in life as well as the evil queen. But the mirror, what are the odds here, Trish, that this mirror, it's like, so it's this all-seeing, all-powerful magic mirror that can literally do anything. And its entire existence is it sits there on this wall for this lady to come up to him once a day and be like, am I pretty?
Be validated.
Right. Like this insecure woman who
Tell
has
me
to
I'm
come up to the
pretty.
mirror. Like, and this mirror is just so tired of it that maybe one day it's like, hey, you know what? No, you're not. This Lord Farquaad looking little twit over here, she's prettier than you. How about that? How about
And
that, lady?
I say things like this put me in a position of saying something mean that I may, or meaner that I wouldn't say. Whereas like Rachel Zegler's cute. Like there's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with how she
you're a pretty
looks.
girl.
But you're putting me in a position where you put her up against Gal Gadot.
Why
would I
could not-
believe a mirror would say she's fairer than Gal Gadot? Like that says more about how pretty Gal Gadot is.
Yeah,
But
no,
you're making me say that about her.
It's got to be internal beauty, Trish, because that's the thing that mirrors are so good at showing us, right? Internal.
Because that's what they look
beauty.
at, the internal
Right.
part.
Yes.
Right.
All right, let's continue on with this mess.
mirror on the wall.
Okay. All right, so we got swords being drawn. We got.
The fairest.
Oh, goodness. Who's the fairest of them all? Yeah, no, it's her. It's this smirking little. Oh, my goodness.
That hair does her no favors. This is where me being a woman is going to come in. That hair does her no
Yeah.
favors.
No, it does. It does. I know very few people can actually. By the way,
It is a hard
remember-
hairstyle.
let's not forget the description of Snow White from the story. Okay, it was a hair as black as maybe black as night or something like that. But
I
it
think
was
it's black as ebony, I think.
black as ebony, lips as red as rubies, skin as white as snow. That's where her name comes from,
Well-
and they made her a smoky caramel.
Well, I read Rachel Zegler saying something about, well, there's never been a Latina Snow White. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, of course there's never been a Latina Snow White because she's Snow White and
Yeah.
you're not. So yeah,
There's never been a white Black Panther either. What's your point?
Gray Panther.
Right. All right. Oh gosh, here we go. It just looks so bad. Just like the the trees, the evil trees in the forest. That was probably what scared her as a kid.
Was that the prince?
I don't
Prince does
think
not look
so.
like what I would imagine if it was.
Yeah, I think it was the prince if you saw a guy.
I did see a guy, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the prince. Oh, it's putrid. It's vomit. It's
I just
it's
feel
just
like
pure excrement.
it feels like it's a statement because it's Snow White. Do you know what I mean? Like Snow White was so important to Walt Disney. Even
Yeah,
I know that. I'm not some big
it was
Disney file.
No, and it was because it was the first animated feature film ever made, and the first one, especially for Disney. Disney won a special Oscar for it, where he won 1 regular Oscar and 7 smaller Oscars.
Yeah.
This is such an important film to Disney, and they are just gonna throw it in the garbage
And I
because
think that
they
maybe that's
sacrificed on the
why
altar of this.
I think maybe that's why people are a little mad. Maybe even if they don't realize it, is that this one feels like a statement.
Well,
It
you
feels
know
like they're
what?
saying something more
If
than
you're
they're
co-
usually saying.
If your core audience is made up of Disney fans, people that like Snow White, maybe the best thing for your main character to do is not to go out there and be like, "Hey, you know what sucks? Snow White."
Well, the other thing is like a lot of times they say don't remake something and make it an exact copy, but you're changing it in these instances is making it live action. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can follow the story to the letter. It doesn't have to be different in the story.
The dwarves look horrifying. Rachel Zegler is horrifying as a human being. And, Gal Gadot is going to be fine. But all in all, this movie is going to be a tremendous bomb. Now, The Little Mermaid bombed. That made no money. And I think this is going to do a lot worse because this ratio is insane. And by the way, folks, some people are going to say it's review bombing. It's anti-woke people. I don't think the dislikes have anything to do with anything being woke. I think it just has everything to do with this looks terrible.
Well, I feel like
Awful.
the ratio is too big.
Yeah.
Even if you want to argue half of those are review bombing, that's still like 100
still
or
ratio.
200,000. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's
It's
still
still really
ratio.
high.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. All right, but we want to know what you guys think. Are you going to be going to see this movie when it comes out in theaters? What do you think about Rachel Zegler and all of her comments? How do you think the dwarves look? What is this magic mirror on?
Weird.
Is it weird? Weird. Sound off in the comments and let us know. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Based on that definition, Disney is an absolutely insane company. After the box office shellacking that happened just last year for The Little Mermaid, when stunt casting and fan blaming left Disney in a financial hole, we're right back at the wishing well again with another cynical cinematic cyclone that's destined for utter failure. Of course, the wheels for this movie were turning long before The Little Mermaid bombed, and they were already long past the windmill by the time Rachel Zegler made her comments. So it will be interesting to see if Disney is willing to learn from these mistakes and alter their course in the future. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope you'll join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tooney Talk TV, our live stream pop culture podcast. It's a great way to make your voice heard as part of the Tooneytown community. I also hope you'll subscribe to Tooneytown Wrestling, our pro wrestling channel, as well as That Game Place, the That Park Place gaming channel where I'm a regular host. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at Tooneytown, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!